From everything I am reading, I actually think the transgender lover and roommate of the accused terrorist murderer of Charlie Kirk had a lot of influence on the terrorist. And in everything I'm reading, I think, and this is pure speculation at this very moment, but how much you want to bet that the transgender lover was really pulling the strings? A relative of the transgender roommate lover actually said that the terrorists' radical politics may have been influenced by their relationship. In other words, my relative, the transgender guy, influenced the terrorist shooter a lot. Quote, I think Tyler, that's the name of the terrorist shooter, I think Tyler got a whole lot worse in the year they've been dating. My gut tells me the roommate did more of the influencing. Did the transgender lover, who's in the process of getting, I guess, sex change, transitioning to a female, which can't be done, but that's a different show. Did the transgender lover pull the strings, radicalize this young man, and get him to go out there and do this while he sits at home and acts all innocent? He did not do anything publicly in the hours. It was 33 hours before anything was released publicly. He did nothing publicly, according to all the reports. Second of all, tons of radicals were in 2 months, 2 months before the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This came out from the Daily Mail today, and Kash Patel said it himself. He said that we are investigating text messages, and we've seized multiple electronic devices from the home of the suspect, his romantic partner, computers, laptops, gaming systems. We're going to be interviewing scores of people, not just on these chats in Discord, but on any communications this individual had. A text message exchange, for example, where the terrorist specifically stated the suspected terrorist stated he had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and he was going to do that. And when he was asked why, he said some hatred cannot be negotiated with. Who was he talking with? Also, we know that there are two radical transgender and leftist accounts that were interacting with the terrorist, including a transgender terrorist one that I think out of Salt Lake City, I believe, that shut down and deleted everything afterwards. 2 months before Kirk was assassinated, this is in the Daily Mail. Look at all my notes. Aren't you proud? I'm so proud of myself. Look at all my notes. 2 months before Kirk was assassinated, another user wrote, September 10th will be a very interesting day. And then he said, I plead the 5th on a follow-up post. Several of the users appear to be transgender, and at least one of the users, followed by the roommate, Lance Twiggs, the transgender roommate and confirmed lover, were also followed by him. A number of the accounts probed appear to be associated with LGBT subcultures. Gee, the leftist radicals are being radicalized and turned into terrorists to murder us? Conservatives, you think? Meanwhile, another user said, Charlie Kirk is coming to my college town tomorrow. I hope somebody evaporates him literally. Another post, let's just say something big will happen tomorrow. These are all in these LGBT and trans subculture communications comms. A TikTok user who appears to be transgender said, Charles James Kirk, Mr. College Dropout, does not, all caps, know what's coming tomorrow. Be ready. This isn't a threat. It's a promise. The Spencer Cox, the governor of Utah, who I think has done a very good job being thrust into the spotlight. You never know how they're going to act until they're in the middle of this kind of a massive thing. Cox said the alleged shooter's relationship with his trans partner is currently being looked at into a possible motive. So, did he do this for his lover? Was his lover the mastermind? I actually feel that that's the case. We're going to see how this all plays out. And I don't like some of the comments from some of the intelligence officials who are talking to the media and saying, well, we like that he's cooperating with us, the trans lover, so we'd like to keep it that way. And yes, we know he didn't say anything to anybody in the hours afterwards. So let's see how this plays out. I want to go to Mrs. Kirk, though. I want to tell you that on Friday night, I sat in this room, and, I get the push notifications like we all do on my phone, and it showed that the widow had spoken, that Mrs. Kirk had spoken. And I hit play, and it popped up, and it cast on my TV on a Friday night. And I sat here, and I watched it myself, and I was riveted. And I honestly feel that Mrs. Kirk, Erica Kirk, intentionally did it within 2 days like that because she knew she had to do it. She knew she had to do it quick, sooner rather than later. Because every day, every hour that this widow in hell, not in literal hell, but, in hell, going through hell, every day and hour that went by where she did not speak out and say, you will not stop this. You have failed. She knew she had to do it soon. And the absolute doing it was insanely difficult for her, as it would be for any widow. But she did it. It was a powerful moment. And I'm so proud of her. She knew she had to do it. It was time. No more time needed to be passed. It needed to happen now. You have not defeated us. You will not defeat us. And we're going to be stronger. I want to play the most horrifying and difficult part of all of this, so far to me, was listening to her in the video. And they showed the video and the pictures of Mrs. Kirk, of Erica, over her husband, Charlie Kirk's body. And you saw the hands. And you saw these hands that have been made to look like they're still alive by a funeral home. But the hands were not the perfect shape of a hand. And she held his hand and she kissed his hand. And it's horrifying. But she chose to show it. She's not stupid. This is all intentional. She let them video and have pictures to see her grieve over her husband's body, to see what actually happened. I want to play that audio of Charlie's widow over his coffin.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you. I love you. I love you. God bless you.
She's going to have to let that casket be closed and put in the ground. This is insane. This is absolutely insane. Tulsi Gabbard gave a speech at the Kennedy Center when they honored Charlie Kirk. There's one little piece, and I want to play it for you. And she's absolutely right. Here she was. Listen closer to this.
Those who are full of anger and hopelessness and hate right now, some of them protesting outside this hall today, unfortunately, they do not have the spiritual happiness that Charlie experienced. They're empty. And this is where their anger is coming from. It is their rejection of God, their desire to be God, and therefore they have made God their enemy.
This is exactly right. When you are saying, when you're saying that God was wrong, God did not make me the right way, and I am right. God is the potter, and I am the clay. But then you turn it, and you say, that's what I say. But they're turning it and saying, God was wrong. He made a mistake when he made me. I am God. I am the potter, and I'm the clay. I am going to change what God did to me, and I am God. And she's exactly right. It is being your own God. And I've said that a lot. A lot of people in the trans movement that are in these radical ways, and these people who convince children to cut off their genitals and maim their bodies. If you're an adult, you do what you want. But these children who are convinced to do these horrifying things and butcher themselves are whispered into doing these things to their bodies and told that they can be their own God. And these parents are fooled into thinking their children should be in charge and that they should not be in charge. They should they should abandon their godly roles to be the parent of the household and to lead these children and to discipline them in love. That was very spot on. They are rejecting God and they are God. That is exactly right. This is absolutely unequivocally good versus evil. Let's shift over to the complaints. First of all, the teachers. Oh, this is great. The TEA is now investigating. The Texas Education Agency is investigating 180 complaints about teachers. and I'm gonna play some stuff for you. You're gonna hear where they're saying, "Oh, this is a witch hunt." The guy from AFT, Texas, American Federation of Teachers of Texas, it's a witch hunt. My butt. Let me first do this. I want to do the Texas A&M. There was this absolute 18 or 19-year-old child. This chubby black 18-year-old girl jumping around and mocking. This was like at Texas A&M. They had a prayer vigil of some sort in the middle of the day, and she came up and was dancing around like a child, mocking, saying, "What did she say? Yo man is dead. Yo man is dead." Stuff like that, and then she hit one of the guys and knocked his hat off. Something like that. Any unwanted touching is assault, and it's a crime if the person wants to press charges. So she mocked the fact that Charlie was dead. She interrupted their peaceful, quiet prayer vigil, and then assaulted the guy. Here she is, before we talk about what happened to her, which is absolutely rich and very appropriate. Here she is on the campus of Texas A&M.
Homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. He got shot in the head. Fuck your homie dead. Yeah, fuck your homie dead.
Evil is real, people, and it kind of looks like that.
Yeah.
Evil. Evil. Murder is bad. She is evil. Have not said. Why are you being so hateful?
Why are you so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Why are you so hateful? Yeah.
Hey, can somebody tell her to back up?
Can you
please?
not
She's
put the camera in my face?
I'm sitting here. You walked up to me.
Okay, well, I
don't want this. I said rest in peace.
Okay, and I can
Just
do
leave
this
it
too.
alone. Please don't come after
Ma'am,
me.
you've been
I want to be left
emotional.
alone.
I'm not emotional, ma'am. Don't tell me what I am and what I'm not. You can get out of my face because I could tell you what you are, but you won't like it.
You're being aggressive. You're being aggressive.
I'm not being aggressive. My voice
You
is
are
very
being
calm. You're calling me
aggressive.
aggressive because I'm a black woman.
Not at all.
No, we're not. I'm very.
You can't win. Your words are violence, and if you criticize me, it's because I'm black. I see. Anyways, she assaulted the guy. She beclowned herself. She embarrassed herself, and she was arrested for assaulting the guy. She spent a night in jail, had to bail herself out on $200, and she was kicked out of Texas A&M. She's no longer there. You can drop out like Charlie and try to actually be a professional protester, but unlike Charlie, you're not going to lead a powerful movement. So, honestly, she's 18. I hope she'll learn from her mistakes. But she embarrassed herself and played the game. Somebody needs to teach her the truth, which is you're not a victim because you're black, and you really embarrassed yourself, and you are supporting the murder of somebody, which is a sick, sick thing. Oh, I'm going to quote this from Mark Halperin, journalist who has done amazingly well as an independent journalist over the past couple of years, to say the least. He tweeted this out, an email I just got from a very smart person who's now smarter, unfortunately because of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Quote, I used to think of the Trump derangement syndrome as people losing their minds about him specifically and knee-jerk hating everything he said or did or enacted, but now I realize that Trump derangement syndrome has made people lose their ability to tell the difference between right and wrong. That is exactly what that is. Now I'm going to tell you about the coaches, the teachers, the 180 people being investigated by the TEA, and just scores of Texas teachers being booted. But first, I want to tell you a quick story. In between all my very, very busy fill-ins, I'm about 4 hours. When I'm going to sleep for 4 hours. When I wake up, I'm going to do my morning split shift, morning and afternoons in San Antonio at KTSA. Yesterday, I was preparing for a network show again. In between that, I do fundraising for a Christian ministry that takes women from places that are where they're sex trafficked, takes them from being sex trafficked and rebuilds them and gives them a life through biblical counseling. They also help women that are coming out of incarceration, so sex trafficking, incarceration, sexual assault. And they rebuild these women's lives, and it's just amazing. They work with great Christian ministries like Exodus Ministries in DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth, and nobody is their advocate. Oftentimes, the only person that's their advocate is the case manager at the home they're staying at. Well, these counselors biblically help them with licensed practicing counseling to rebuild their lives, give them the confidence to ask a judge to get a second chance to get their custody of their child, realize that it was not their fault. It was never their fault. They did nothing wrong, that they're a victim. This is the most empowering, powerful ministry that I've ever been able to work with and the privilege to work with. And I'm going to tell you this right now. North Texas Giving Day, early giving is already now, so you can donate. And you can let a woman know that you care by giving her the counseling she needs to realize that she is loved by God, she's a child of God, and that she did nothing wrong. She's a victim, and to empower her, including some of these women who testify at trials and put these sons of bleeps back in jail where they belong. Here's a little quick thing to show you. This is my post, and I'll just share it with you real fast. Mrs. Crock and I donated to Thrive Counseling for North Texas Giving Day, and you should too. Text Thrive99. See that right there? I'm going to leave it up for a minute. To 53555 to help rebuild women's lives. That's right at the top. Text Thrive99 to 53555. Your donations will be doubled. There's a match right now. And this is a picture of a woman's life being put back in color, being restored. You can see some of those little squares being put in. I testified. He was convicted. That's about a sex trafficker. That happened. It's a real client. I'm starting to flourish. I have an advocate, a counselor. They brought my family together. I am confident in myself. I was baptized. God loves me. It wasn't my fault. How could you not want to support this for North Texas Giving Day? So if you donate now, $5, $10, $20, I don't care. This is who you should donate for North Texas Giving Day this year. Early giving is on now. There's only a couple days left until Thursday the 18th. All right? If I can remember, I'll put it up one more time at the very end. Please donate. Text Thrive99 to 53555. We did it. You should too. All right. Let me get into these complaints about these teachers. This is 180 complaints, teachers all over the place. The Texas AFT, American Federation for Teachers Union, says it's a witch hunt. And you have a Democrat from Houston, Representative Lauren Ashley Simmons, state representative Democrat, saying she's disgusted about the TEA. They have no justification for harassing and threatening the livelihood of teachers and for political gains. I did not see him react, the head of the TEA, in a similar way to the targeted political assassination of the leader of the Minnesota House Democrat caucus. You mean assassinated by the guy who Tim Walz, the governor, liberal Democrat governor, appointed on one of his boards? You mean the guy who had the No Kings flyers that were attacking Trump? Remember those old blue-haired poor leftists, yelling at people for the No Kings protesting? He had those flyers in his car. You mean that deranged guy who Tim Walz appointed to a board? Anyways, here's the thing. Maybe she would have a point about targeted, comments on the Minnesota Democrat caucus woman being killed, but I don't recall one Republican or conservative mocking her death. Do you? Were there any conservative Republican teachers that were on social media attacking this teacher that was that was killed, or this one that was killed in Minnesota, saying she deserved it? Really? I don't think so either. I don't remember any. So that's why nobody was fired over anything, because no teachers posted anything supporting killing people in Minnesota. Nor should any teacher be in any position with our children if they are encouraging or approving murder of somebody for their political beliefs. Here is a loser. Before we do Texas, here is a loser in Idaho, a cheer coach. Listen to this crazed lunatic. Here we go. Oops, here we go.
You get what you fucking deserve. I just saw the fucking video. Looks like he got shot in the neck or chest. I mean, I'm not saying I wish death upon someone, but that's what I'm fucking saying for this motherfucker. Piece of fucking shit. I hope he's dead. Is that gonna get me arrested? I hope he's not dead. I don't know. Pray for Charlie Kirk. I don't know. And he's a huge advocate for gun rights. If that is an irony, I don't know what is. Today's a good day. Today's a good day.
I don't. How troubled must you be to be like, oh, exuberant that somebody was murdered? Isn't that crazy? So one of the things I put here is why. Why by the way, I filled in on Friday in Des Moines, Iowa. And 2 teachers in Des Moines, one in Des Moines and one in rural Iowa, just outside of Des Moines, were suspended, will be fired too, for doing similar things. This is all over the country. And I don't know why somebody would be so excited about the murder of somebody, unless they're that deranged and demented. And I think it goes back to what I've told you, is that politics is their religion. Like when I was driving in on a Sunday morning to my church at First Baptist Dallas, downtown Dallas, and the overpass, we go into this overpass, and these people were on the Elon Musk thing with the cars and everything. Were like, screaming about Elon Musk and hating him. And I pointed up to my wife and I said, "Look, that's their church. Their church is a political rally. That's their whole meaning and their whole purpose. My meaning and my purpose, and Charlie Kirk's meaning and Charlie Kirk's purpose was God. And I am chief sinner among all, as St. Paul said. But my purpose is to please God and is God. Next is my wife, next is my children, and then is my job and my career, which is my passion. But so this is their religion, and I guess if this is your religion and this is your everything, then I guess you get excited about the person that your religion is against being killed. I guess this would be like one of Satan's demons being killed. Is that what they're? Is that what they're? It's just sick. But also they're saying this is a witch hunt. The Texas AFT is saying this is a witch hunt with these 180 teachers on the chopping block. It is not a witch hunt. Listen to this guy from, he's on KSAT in San Antonio television station being interviewed, the head of AFT Texas. Listen to this.
Capo questioned why the TEA is taking this stance on one assassination, but not, for example, comments over the shootings of Minnesota lawmakers. He thinks this is more about politicians trying to ride a political wave.
That is why we think that these things are a witch hunt and coming down from the top rather than allowing them to come up from our local communities and do the job that they have always done, at least for the last several decades that I'm aware of.
Okay, 2 things. This guy is a fool. Like I said, I would just tell this guy, can you please show me one teacher in Texas that celebrated the murder of that Democrat politician in Minnesota? Because there's not one. There's not one that I'm aware of. Find one. If there's anybody celebrating it, yes, they should be fired too. So that's a straw man. There's nothing there. And number 2, he's like, wow, this is coming from the top. So he's saying the TEA is like scouring hundreds and hundreds of school districts across Texas looking for posts. No, the TEA received 180 or more complaints. People like me or you who have children in a school district that see a post from a teacher, send it to the TEA because they're who investigates it. It is not a witch hunt. It is the local people that he's mentioning complaining to the TEA or to the school district. So there's nothing in his argument that is genuine. He's just upset that people that are most likely supporters of the unions are being fired because they're supporting and regaling in murder. So that's that joke right there. Here's a couple examples. Klein ISD, this is from the Houston Chronicle. Klein ISD teacher, which is Metro Houston area. Derek Woods, a former teacher, and football coach at an intermediate school, was fired on Facebook. He replied to another person's Facebook post thanking Kirk for, quote, all he's done. He said, I don't get why anyone is sad. Yes, he's leaving behind 2 beautiful girls, and I pray for them, but that man was a horrible effing human being. He was a legit racist, homophobic, misogynist, transphobic, nasty person, plus he said out of his damn mouth, people should die in order for us to protect the Second Amendment. Well, you're fired, so you can Go do some protests. Good luck with that, champ. And stay away from our kids, you sick man. Goose Creek ISD, also in Houston metro area. This is also from the Houston Chronicle. Her name is Jennifer Courtmanche. Her Facebook page. Could this have been the consequences of Charlie's action catching up with him? I'll bet if the victim had been black or brown or a Democrat influencer, he'd have been singing a different tune. Could Kirk have baited just one too many people? And then she said, karma is a bitch. Well, ma'am, I guess it is because you're unemployed, rightfully so. Let's go to fake news CNN. Listen to this. This leftist Democrat liberal host, Abby Phillip, gets schooled by a Republican New York. I think he's a congressman out of New York. Anyways, he's a Republican from New York. Listen to this. This is great.
This is about punishing them being the left, them being his political opponents. That actually, I think, is surprising to a lot of Americans because that's not typically what you would expect to hear from the White House after.
Well, let's talk about some polling that he used to justify those comments before he made them on TV. YouGov came out with a poll 3 days ago talking about how each side feels about violence and support of political deaths. Liberals, 16% believe it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed. Liberals, very liberals, 24%. Conservatives, 4%. Very conservatives, 3%. Justifying violence. Very liberal people have 25% answered yes, it's okay, you're justified to do violence against your political opponents. Liberals, 17%, conservatives, 8%, and very conservatives, 3%. That means it is 6 to 1 times more likely in respondents to this poll on the left. Now, I'm not saying there's exclusivity on the left. I'm not saying that. But there is certainly a problem where 6 times the amount of Republicans believe that it's okay to feel joy when your political opponent is killed, murdered, whatever, attacked, and that 6 to 1 believe that they are okay in justifying violence against political opponents. That's a problem. That's a cancer within the movement.
That's why J.D. Vance said that the left has a problem with violence and wanting to kill, hurt, maim, destroy physically their political opposites. Here's a few more stats from the YouGov story he was mentioning. 77% of Republicans think it's always unacceptable to be happy about the death of a public figure. Less than half, 38% of Democrats feel the same way. So it's 2 to 1 where we feel as Republicans it's always unacceptable to be happy about somebody's death. But Democrats more than twice say, no, it's great, it's okay. The National Contagion Research Institute at Rutgers University, which he did not quote, found that 48% of left-of-center voters say it would be at least somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. Literally half of left-of-center voters justified to murder Musk. More than half, 55%, said it was justifiable to murder Donald Trump. You have a serious problem if you're a Democrat and you're on the left. You guys have a massive problem with loving violence, wanting to kill people because you disagree with them. It's frightening, and it's satanic. Listen to this. 71% of young Democrats would not date somebody who voted Republican, but less than half of the Republicans say the same way. So you have also a problem with wanting to be anywhere dating somebody who disagrees with you. We don't. More than half of Democrats, 55%, say the opposing party can't be trusted, but yet 12% less Republicans feel the same way. So you guys don't trust us. You want us dead. You won't date us, and we're literally twice as less than you are, and that, if not less, even less than that. 27% of Democrats say the 2024 election damaged their friendship with Republicans. Only 10% of Republicans feel the same way. So you guys are 3 times more likely to say that your friendships are bad because of who won. So you guys got a problem on that side. You just do. And the sooner you admit it, the sooner you'll fix it. The more you don't, the more you're going to be self-imploding and looking horrible and going to have to keep making up lies and excuses about murdering people. Now, let's close this out since I'll be filling in San Antonio from 10 to 11 a.m. on KSAT, 550 KTSA and 107 FM 107.1 from 10 to 11 Central and from 3 to 5 Central. This is there was a huge UTSA rally for memorial for Charlie Kirk on Monday night. and some of these liberal clowns showed up and were pro-Palestinian people, and they literally wanted to make it about themselves, as journalist Savannah Hernandez says, and I've had her on my show. She's good. They wanted to make it about themselves, so they kept screaming in the middle of the Charlie Kirk vigil. And if you look at UTSA campus, there's like 1,000 or 2,000 people that are memorializing Charlie, and then there's like 15 of these radicals, and they're holding up a sign. By the way, they literally didn't spell Palestine right. They spelled it Palestine, Palestine. Excuse me. They Palistine. Palestine. So they care so much they don't know how to spell it, and it's so funny and ridiculous.